Ooh-wee. Man. What's up, O.C.?
What's the word, baby? It's Friday, man. It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday.
Ooh-wee. And the people have been requesting. We gonna bring it. We are gonna bring it, sir.
We gonna give you what you want.
Yes, we are. So, I promise you, today I've gotten a lot of requests like never before. I'm dead serious on scene. And I love it, man. I got a lot of requests from the voices of the nation. And basically, this is what they're talking about. They say, Boss Cowboy and The O.C. respond to Mike Martz Interview with 105.3. The Fan Defending Dak. Yeah, I got a lot of requests on this, O.C. I'm talking about people hitting me up like, we gotta hear from you, dog. We got it from the O.C. Well.
Your wish is our command, baby, because you go get what you asked for.
You are gonna get it. You gonna get it.
You go get what you asked for.
Now, we doing it different this time. I haven't even heard it. So, when I hear what I'm getting ready to hear, this is gonna be the first time. So this is gonna be a raw, real reaction, whatever it may be. So I'm excited because this is my first time doing it like this, man. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go, man. Thank y'all for rocking with us. Come on. Yeah.
Come on in.
Come on. Let's go. My boy D-Block say straight business, O.C.
Straight business.
Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Yeah, man. D-Block, I see you. Straight business. Regina, she said, hey, boss. What's up, Regina? George, what's up, man? Representing them San Fran boo-boo boys. Got love for you, though, big dog. Yeah, man, let's get it. Let's get it. Come on. What's up, T-Money? Let's go, man. No wee-woo, baby. Let's go. Man, I'm feeling myself.
Let's go.
I'm feeling myself. What my girl say? I'm feeling myself. Dallas Law with the super chat.
Guys.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys, if you come into the building, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Go ahead and hit the like button right now. If you haven't followed Boss Cowboy Sports, I don't know what you're doing. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You can follow me, the OC100, on Twitter. Let's get into it. Former Super Bowl championship coach Mike Martz has a lot to say about Dak Prescott and this past season, and a detailed analysis of all 17 interceptions. Boss Cowboy, what say ye? What say ye?
I don't got nothing yet, so let me pull it up. Let me just kind of pull this on in here. I thought I had it in here. I actually didn't. Let me pull it on in to see. I'm telling y'all, I have not listened to a word of this. Now, the streets have been buzzing about this O.C. So,
I haven't either, boss, but I have cheated a little bit. I read a little bit.
Cheated? You cheater.
I cheated a little bit. I have not heard. I cheated a little bit. I cheat. And so this is how I cheated. Let me explain how I cheated first. I actually read a little bit of an article a kind of about what he said. All right. Just a little bit, about 2 paragraphs about kind of what he said. And so what I got out of that is utmost interest to me.
Because I got it here, bro. You want to talk about it, or you want me to just play it? Because I got it here.
No, we can play it, but I do want to highlight something before you hit that play button.
Okay.
This is why you need to follow Boss Cowboy Sports. This is why you need to lock in with us 24/7, 366. That's an extra day, by the way, for the latest and the greatest. Because a lot of this stuff that you will hear is things that we have covered of some persuasion on this channel, an explanation of the reasons why Dak Prescott had the picks. I just wanted to say that Boss Cowboy, I want to give him his flowers because he sounded the trumpet on a lot of this stuff before Mike Martz. And you know what? You don't want to listen to Boss Cowboy, but you are going to listen to Mike Martz. And Boss Cowboy said some of the same stuff that a Super Bowl championship coaches just said related to the issue of Dak Prescott and his interceptions.
Oh, no. Oh.
Roll the clip.
Roll the clip.
Roll the clip.
All right.
Roll the clip.
Before we roll the clip, special shout out. Also, Mr. Johnson, we've been playing phone tag. I got to get with you, bro. Shout out to one of my brothers who started his own channel. I want to just give him a special shout out. He a longtime friend of mine. They've been knowing me before I've been doing this podcast stuff. So obviously, my brother, congratulations on your channel. I know you're going to do great with it, and I'm here for you to help you, and let's just help each other to the top, big dog. All right, so let's get into this. Now, first of all, shout out to 105.3 The Fan. We put the link in the description, so I always recommend that when we do reaction videos that you go listen to the whole thing yourself, because we're not trying to talk you into anything. We just really trying to give you perspective based on what we see and what we hear. You know what I mean? So I just think it's always fair to give the people that we get these resources from their chance to get their click and to get the full version of what we said on the interview, even as we react to it. So that's just the right thing to do. So shout out to the fans. So here we go.
The Super Bowl winning coach, Mike Martz, here on the home of the Dallas Cowboys via the Diamond Factory hotline on 105.3 The Fan. Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing very well, thanks.
So, Coach, we were really intrigued by the video you did with the 33rd team last week, just kind of breaking down Dak's interception problem, something that it felt like really unique in terms of he's never been a guy that we thought of as like a turnover machine. And then last year to throw as many interceptions as he did in such a short time. When you looked at it and kind of evaluated how he performed, what were some of your biggest takeaways?
I think the success of any quarterback has so much to do with the receiving corps, how disciplined they are, where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there. And, it's kind of a touchy thing because if they're not on the same page as a quarterback, let me take you back to Peyton Manning when he went down to Tampa Bay. Remember how frustrated he was because he didn't feel like he was on the same page. And I think that there's a little bit of that going on there last year with Dallas for the first time. And I had not seen that so much there before. And I think that, the quarterbacks obviously aren't going to say anything about it, and they just got to grin and bear it.
Pause it right there.
Okay.
Now, let's break down that first. The first thing he said was that the performance of the quarterback has a lot to do with them being on the same page as the quarterback, them seeing the same thing, them going the same place or the right place that the quarterback thinks they're going to go.
Right.
Did we talk about something like this previously, Boss Cowboy, on this channel?
Oh, actually, we did. Yeah. The option route.
I think we did.
Yeah, in great detail.
Okay, I just wanted to point that out. Please continue. Please continue.
I will continue.
So to speak. So I think that's probably one of the most contributing factors to these turnovers.
Where are you right now? It sounds very peaceful.
I'm sitting on my deck. on a golf course
yeah.
up in St. Louis out in the country.
See?
What hole?
He chilling.
It's the 15th. It's a par 3.
Okay, over water, long carry.
No, it's about 185-yard par 3.
Oh, that's
Okay.
a long one.
That's a good one.
That's
a
a
good
long
one.
one.
You know, it's interesting, Coach. A couple of years ago when John Kitna first got here, one of the things we heard from him pretty consistently was how heavy an influence you had on him. And the philosophies that you instilled in him, he really wanted to instill in Dak Prescott. When you watched the tape of Dak playing, did you see any of those markers that, like, hey, that's a guy that would have worked well in my system, or do you think he was just a little bit out of place last year?
I think last year was a bit of an anomaly for him. I think, when I watched him before that, particularly when John was with him, he didn't look confused, and he looked confused here this past year. And there's probably a lot of factors for that, but probably not worth getting into. But when you coach quarterback,
Man, now we want you to get into that.
Notice how nice he being. Notice how respectful he's being. There's a lot of factors that went into that. I know the factors, but I don't want to really say the factors, because if I say the factors, I'm going to address certain people that were the reasons behind the factors. I'm just translating for the audience. That's basically what he's saying here, Boss Cowboy.
Let me rewind that.
Yeah.
Any of those markers that, like, hey, that's a guy that would have worked well in my system, or do you think he was just a little bit out of place last year?
I think last year was a bit of an anomaly for him. I think.
So an anomaly mean it doesn't happen that often. You know what I'm saying? It's a rare occurrence. Talking about Dak.
When I watched him before that, particularly when John was with him, he didn't look confused.
Yeah. So when he was under John Kitna, Dak looked like he had control of the offense. Can we deter that's what he's saying? Right?
Yeah.
He looked confused here this past year.
But this past year, under the Kellen Moore aggressive option route system, he did look confused.
Probably a lot of factors
He
for
did.
that. But
the thing is, he said it probably was a lot of factors.
probably not worth getting into.
But not. No, we wanted you to get into that. Let me keep going. God dog.
When you coach quarterbacks, you have to be very, very specific about where the ball goes and what to do on everything. You can't just leave them hang out in the wind. Find the open guy.
Stop.
Because he getting into
Stop.
Wait.
When you coach a quarterback, you have to be very specific about where you want the ball to go. That don't sound like calling a lot of option routes, does it, Boss Cowboy?
Nah, not at all. Not at all.
That sounds like what Mike McCarthy said is the numeric system.
Yeah, the digit system.
The
digit
yeah,
system.
the numeric
And
are
when
the
you
di-
say-
are the
when
digit
you say
system.
digit system, he's saying option route system. Just letting y'all know.
Well, yeah. So here's the deal. If you're not specific on where you want the ball to go and the receivers are not on the same page with the quarterback, that leads to the quarterback being confused.
Right. Yeah. And we could actually put a film on that. I'm not going to do that right now. But that's what happened in the San Fran game, for sure. You know what I mean? That's what happened.
100%.
That's what. See, let me keep going real quick, OC. Because I actually rewinded it a little bit. Here we go.
Go ahead.
He didn't look confused, and he looked confused here this past year. And there's probably a lot of factors for that, but probably not worth getting into. But when you coach quarterbacks, you have to be very, very specific about where the ball goes and what to do on everything. You can't just leave them hang out in the wind, find the open guy kind of a deal. And, I think...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Find the open guy type of deal. Boy, that is clear at Kellen. You can't have an offense. He basically said you can't have an offense to where you got to give your quarterback 4 different option routes with 4 weapons, and then he got to figure it out. That's stupid. We've been saying this was stupid. Hold on. Now I see where y'all sent this to me. Let me keep listening.
And now y'all see what I said at the beginning. And now you see why I said what I said right at the beginning of this show before we got into this. Go ahead, boss.
We held everybody accountable, for the quarterback. We just tell everybody in the offense, particularly the receivers, you got to see this game through the quarterback's eyes. And I think that's a really, really important point for all offenses, that that position is hard enough, and you can't have him guessing about where you're going to be and all that good stuff.
Before he asks this question, one of my OGs in the building had a good point, and I just want to address this real quick before we kind of get into the content even more. Also, just real quick, cheap plug, we gonna be going live again tonight. After this, the OC, he picking up his son right now, as you can see, and we gonna be doing another in-depth film session on Anton Harrison. So y'all come back for that. We are looking at a lot of the likely picks that make the most sense for the Dallas Cowboys at 26. Just cheap plug. We gonna be doing a lot of overtime now going up into the draft, to where we're really committed to getting y'all this content and giving you the real look at these guys. The real look at these guys. You know what I mean? Via film, via research. So obviously, just before we get back into this, we just did the one on Darnell Wright. If you haven't checked that out, make sure you check that out. It's a very good film session by the OC. Super thorough. Oh my God. You will come out like, man, yeah. You understand what I'm saying? So, but just y'all also be on the lookout. Keep your notifications on. Make sure you following the channel so that you don't miss us when we come back tonight. Because we coming back tonight to do another in-depth film session. Unless you going to the club, hang out with your boys.
No, man, I'll be on, man. It's Friday Night Live tonight, man, so we gonna be on late.
Yeah.
And y'all come back and stay with us.
All right, but we giving y'all this overtime extra stuff that we committed to. Shout out to 105.3 The Fan for the content. And then my boy Common Sense calling me Perry Mason right now. Now we go break this down. This is what we do. This is exactly what we do. We break all this stuff down. I think this is a highlight of this channel. You know what I'm saying? I think this is what people love about this channel, is when the OC and I come together and we really kind of break down these interviews in depth, so that we don't fall for that wee woo. Y'all know that, y'all.
Oh, you see this guy? See this guy? Number one bullshit guy. He do the wee woo.
So we don't do that. All right, so we go back to, here we go.
So, like, we've always had this discussion, like, because the transition from Kellen to Mike's system, a lot of curl routes in the Kellen system, players facing Dak, safety nets, wanting to take more chances downfield. Can you build that into a system, or is at the end of the day, the quarterback is still going to decide where to throw the ball, and if he's conservative by nature, he still may throw it short?
I think when you have two systems that are kind of married together, it sounds, because they're both outstanding coaches, it's just difficult. It sounds like it should work, but a lot of times it doesn't, because it's just two different philosophies. And Kellen's trying to coach a system he's not really particularly familiar with, and so the details of it he may not know, and that's hard. And I've been in that situation before, where you're trying to interpret for the quarterback, and that's not an easy thing to do at all, and I think it's very difficult. So I know how good Mike is, and I think we all do. I love the fact that he's getting back in the intimate details of it. I think that'll resolve a lot of issues for them on offense, and I think it'll be great for Dak. The details in the final analysis mean everything, and if you're not getting the details at all those positions, then you're just never going to be as successful as you can be. And I think Mike is that kind of a guy, and I just think that it's his offense, ultimately what he wants to do. Nobody's going to coach it better than he can, so he might as well jump back in like he did.
Mike Martz here on 105.3 The Fan. Coach, what do you think some of the biggest X's and O's differences will be under McCarthy calling the plays, or do you think most of it will be philosophical as they keep talking about the run game here?
Well, I think, the running game will always be strong there, and I think that's really important. I think the discipline, the way he's asking Dak to do, will be more specific. And I think that the discipline of the receivers.
We are live. It's not pre-recorded. We live.
It's not nebulous. It's not kind of floating out there, but he has, will be held accountable, to their level. And that's so important. And I think that's what will happen. I just think Mike's a great coach.
Coach, one of the talking points we got a lot last year with some of these interceptions that Dak threw was there were a lot of people arguing, saying take option routes out of the game plan, because if the receiver and the quarterback aren't going to read it correctly and you have that miscommunication and they're not flattening out the route, then you need to take those out of the game plan. And Dak pushed back against that whenever anybody would ask him, and he'd say, you guys only see when they go wrong. You have no idea how many times we hit big plays off of those, and I'd be angry if we took those out of the game plan. What is your general thought and approach to option routes, and how do you work at getting the receiver and the quarterback to see the same coverage?
First of all, before I don't even know what the answer getting ready to be. But first of all, that's a great question. Great question. I'm glad he went right at it. Because now I don't know what he getting ready to say, but I'm very interested in that. But one thing that I want to highlight from my boy Trey is Trey did say, shout out to my partner Trey. I love Trey's spirit because he go be just blunt about it. And he was like, Dak signed off on this stuff. And that's true. You know what I mean? And that's where it looked like the OC froze for a moment.
Yep.
But Dak did sign off on this stuff. You good now? Okay. It looked like Dak did sign off on this stuff.
I'm good. Go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, Dak did sign off on this stuff. And that's the part of Dak. That's the part of Dak that I also want him to be better, to where a lot of us get a sense with Dak to where it's so us against the world mentality, to where you basically circle the wagons and you say, hey man, we go stick together on this, we go, get behind Kellen. I would want to see more pushback in Dak. You know what I'm saying? I would want to see more, can I just be real? This stupid, we not doing this from Dak. You know what I'm saying? Just keeping it real. I would want to see him push back versus going along, with, because he really did buy into this, and he did.
Yeah, I think that it's a couple things with that, boss, that we hadn't mentioned before that I think might be worth mentioning. Okay.
Right.
We talked about the loyalty aspect of it and the friendship, that obviously he had or has with Kellen Moore. So that's an aspect of it, okay? The second aspect is the competitive man aspect, that I'm smart enough, I'm brilliant, I'm good enough, I can figure this out, I can make this work.
Right.
And I think that's the part that may have got Dak in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
The male ego and not wanting to concede and say, hey, let's simplify this a little bit so we can get the completions.
Yeah.
I think that may have been a factor.
I got another theory about what happened with Dak too. Now we just spitballing right now, but this is my theory as well.
Yeah.
I'm keeping it real. I think smart people always think things are easier for everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I always say this about the OC and his wife. They are extremely smart, right? But they so smart that if you ain't keeping up, they'll be like, you know what I mean? Because they quick, like they get stuff quick, or they see stuff that normal people don't see. You know what I mean? Just because their minds are so fast, So when you Dak, now keep in mind, Dak is a dude that got his master's degree in 4 years, all the time playing top-notch football. That's smart. You know what I'm saying? Dak's so smart that he was actually running this complicated offense. You know what I'm saying? Where you have to read 4 receivers that could have 3 different options from option routes. That's smart. So to him, when he reading the defense, he over here like, oh yeah, that's easy. That's a converted cover 2. You could tell because the safety cheated down. That was a disguised look. And then the corner, he actually shuffled backwards and he showed a flat drop, you know, and he read all of that in a split second. You know what I mean? But to his weapons, his weapons over here, like, that's regular cover 2. He like, no, that's converted cover 2. You know what I'm saying? Because he's smart.
Right.
And so to him, he like, I just got to get them to think like me, and then we go be good. And it's like, but Dak, you a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Tolbert only been playing receiver for 4 years. You've been
right.
You know what I'm saying? Is it? What
Right.
you think? What you think of that?
Yeah, I think that it's a possibility of that, but also I think it's the will and the grind to get through obstacles, and the don't quit mentality sometimes get in the way of let's simplify and figure out an easier way to make this work mentality.
Yeah.
Because he's had to overcome so many obstacles and he's used to powering through things.
Right.
He's used to having to overcome and get through hard things. Sometimes you can get in that state of mind, right? And you're a smart, talented person. And you can get in that state of mind.
Yeah.
And that state of mind have you committed longer than you should be to something that's not working or that's more difficult than what it really should be.
Right.
That's what I think.
See, check this out before we go into it. It's even more. My boy Adam say Dak can dissect just like Peyton. I 100% agree. See, because that's one thing people don't talk about enough. How smart Dak is. See, you have to be extremely intelligent as a rookie, right? To take over for Romo in an offense that wasn't your offense and only throw 4 interceptions in the entire year.
Right. Right.
Do you know how fast you have to process to do that?
Yeah. You got to master the whole playbook, too.
You got to master it. Yeah. That's one part that people don't talk about enough, OC, that I think Dak should talk about more. If I ever run into Dak, I promise you, you know the first thing I'm going to tell him? Dak, you don't talk about your master's degree enough. You don't.
Yeah.
It's, you know, I tweeted one day, OC, I tweeted one day, most people don't know that Dak got a master's degree. Man, I had like thousands of people like, he got a master's?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
In organizational
they thought he graduated
leadership.
with sociology.
Bro. Yeah. But the world need to know that you're smart. You know what I mean? People need to know how fast you process. And then just from a human side, do you know how many kids look up to you, Dak? You the type of dude that'll make education cool. You know what I mean? But people don't even know how smart you are. You know what I mean? Because people looking at his tattoos, the tattoo on his, Dak just got another sleeve on his leg. So you got kids out here want to get the tattoos. I want the kids that want to get the tattoos and get the brains. Just keeping it real. I'm on my soapbox on that, but I meant that. I meant that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to it. All right, here we go. Y'all forgive me on that soapbox, but I meant that. Here we go.
Well, the option runs are really, really, really important, particularly on third down. We use a lot of them. I think, you guys see the same thing, obviously, but the thing that I saw when it doesn't work with Dallas, the receivers, they didn't come back to the ball. You can't float at the same level. You'll get undercut. And I think that's a...
Bro! Oh, yeah, I see where y'all sent this to me. Boy, that's so frustrating. I saw that in training camp with Dennis Houston. I said that in training camp. I said, why is Dennis Houston literally going to a spot and just moving his feet? Because I played corner. I know you're supposed to attack the ball. You're supposed to run at the quarterback, run back to the quarterback, because we trying to close distance. Oh, oh my God. Yeah, I see why y'all sent this to me. This is frustrating. Ooh, when you break this down, let me
would ask him, and he'd say, you guys only see when they go wrong. You have no idea how many times we hit big plays off of those, and I'd be angry if we took those out of the game plan. What is your general thought and approach to option routes, and how do you work at getting the receiver and the quarterback to see the same coverage?
Well, the option routes are really, really, really important, particularly on third down. We use a lot of them. I think, you got to see the same thing, obviously, but the thing that I saw when it doesn't work with Dallas, the receivers, they didn't come back to the ball. You can't float at the same level. You'll get undercut. And I think that's a real important part for what they were doing in these option routes. And they weren't attacking the ball, and the defender would beat them to the ball. I think that's when it went bad. That's kind of what happened with it. And it's an easy thing to fix. You just got to have them snap back to the ball to where the ball's thrown. He's splitting defenders with his throat. He's expecting that receiver to get there. Well, the receiver stops and turns around, doesn't move back to the ball. Bad things are going to happen.
Do you think he has enough ability? Because, Coach, I want the Cowboys to kind of build on defense. I don't believe Dak can carry them through the playoffs if it's on him mostly. I think he's got flashes, spectacular flashes, but I just don't think they can win the Super Bowl on his right arm. Do you think that's possible?
I don't think there's any question about it. I think he could be a great player. But you have to – I just think there's been so many moving parts around him. And I know Kellen is kind of – his philosophy is a little bit more – he's a guy that wants to throw it quite a bit. And if you're not real good in the offensive line, that's going to be very difficult. I think the fact that they're going to run the ball very well, and I'm sure they will, I think just does so many things for Dak in the passing game. There's just been too many moving parts around him, and there's a lot of really good quarterbacks out there that have been through this.
Yeah.
Whoa!
He hitting on all the things that we talked about, and he's being so. And the thing I really like, he has coaches' integrity.
Yeah,
because he's being so politically correct,
factual,
and how he's addressing Kellen Moore. Yeah, he's being so politically correct and how he's addressing. But if you read in between the lines, you can hear him. Yeah, you can hear him saying, it was some things offensively that they did that it didn't make sense. It wasn't the best, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And he brings up Kellen Moore gently, right? Gently. Go ahead.
You was right when you said on something earlier, because you're right. I think when you said and when I said, sometimes people don't listen. But when you hear it from this guy, they should get it. You know what I mean? Because we've been saying on this show that Dallas is running the most complicated offense in the league. They was literally asking their quarterback to read 4 people who could have 3 different options all at the same time in a split second based on what the defense is doing. Bruh!
Yeah. Based on that, you should get an extension.
Sean say, because Dallas in the media, they always go try to point at Dak because that get clicks, that get ratings. I don't think Dak can carry on his arm. It's like, well, how many times we go keep talking like that? Like, what
quarterback really carries?
No quarterback carries. That's, like, come on, man.
The team to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I don't think he can carry. And he like, no, actually, it was too much going on around him, dog. I'm the one that's the OC. I'm the one that actually led a team to win a Super Bowl. This is my resume. Won Super Bowl with the St. Louis Rams, former OC with the Bears, Niners, and Lions. So if there's some real integrity, after he spoke, we should all start adjusting what we say about Dak. You know what I'm saying? We should start adjusting what we say, because now wisdom has entered the room with a whole bunch of experience and told you like it is, and he didn't throw nobody under the bus. He just telling you like it is. While we over here saying the elementary points like, oh yeah, Dak can't carry a team, all this weird stuff. Like he's supposed to carry people. And I said this before, OC. Bruh, it is disrespectful to say a quarterback is carrying other grown men. It is disrespectful, bro. OC, you protected quarterbacks. How did that quarterback turn around and carry you while you're protecting him? Make that make sense. What did you play in college? Tackle, guard, tackle. The OC played 4 different positions. All protecting his quarterback, would have gave his left arm to do it. But then when they talk about the OC, they say the quarterback carried him. No, OC carried that quarterback. That's insulting.
Yep. That's true.
Let me keep going.
That's true.
Look at Steve Young. He goes from Tampa Bay, the worst rated quarterback in the league. He goes to San Francisco, becomes a Hall of Famer. So much of it has to do with getting things tight around the quarterback, and when that happens, and he can realize his full potential. I'm a big Dak fan, so you're probably asking the wrong guy.
Coach, I want to ask you about a common criticism of Kellen Moore, and as an offensive guru, explain what this phrase means: calling plays versus managing the game as the OC or play caller. What does that mean?
Very, very good question.
It should be the same. Should be the same thing. You have to get a feel for the game and call plays accordingly. You can't just go in and just call plays. I mean, I never did that. You just got to get a feel, as you're watching the defense and knowing the situation. If your defense is struggling a little bit, then conversely, you're going to have to be careful that you're not just turning that ball back over to them. All those good things. You have to know as much about your defensive game plan as what you're going to do on offense, and then when you get into the game, the flow of it, if they're hitting some balls, and you're going to have to kind of change what you do as well. So I just think that the guys that adjust the best as play callers during the game that can change gears, those are the really great ones.
Coach, how would you approach the running game in today's NFL?
Hold on.
Well, I think they've done a really good job of spreading things out. The one thing that I do know is I watch the draft and everything over the last 10 years. Those linebackers have gotten smaller, looking at more athletic guys. We used to put a big 280, 290-pound tight end back there at fullback and do some lead stuff, and I promise you I would do that. I'd just go and splatter those guys.
Ooh, can we pause and talk about this for a minute? X's and O's, OC?
Go ahead, big boss. And I'm adjusting my camera, so you might want to take my picture off.
All right. First, before we address that from an X's and O's standpoint, Coach Marv said, boss, the wide receiver thing with details falls on Kellen's hand-picked wide receiver coach. I don't understand what you mean by that, Coach. I may need you to explain that a little bit. Boss, that wide receiver thing with details fall on Kellen's handpick. I think you saying that the guys not knowing how to read defense is a reflection of their coach not really being able to get them to do that. If that's what you're saying, just let me know, because I think that's what you're saying by that. You back, OC?
Yeah, I'm good. Go ahead.
Now, it's one thing that he talked about that this is gonna be a segue a little bit, but it brings me to something and actually confirms exactly one of my theories, right? It's a reason why tight ends have been aggressively failing, okay? Especially within the past 7 to 8 drafts. Like, most of these guys that would be considered automatic mismatches back in the day are no longer mismatches. Because remember, he just said back in my day, the linebackers were a lot bulkier, so they wasn't as athletic as they are now. So, and I've been said this, it's The league adjusts. I want y'all to hear me out while the OC getting his camera together. The league adjusts. That's what the league does. It's gonna always adjust. So when Witten was killing linebackers and bulky linebackers, you had to find a way to limit the Witten types, the Ertz types. You had to find a way. So you had to begin to get linebackers that are more tweeners, i.e. Curse, i.e. Jones. Guys that can actually play in the box and guys that can cover, i.e. the league has adjusted to what used to be the automatic mismatches. So what you're hearing today in today's NFL, in my opinion, is a lot of people still speaking in old jargon language. So you still hear people every year oversell the tight end position, and they say the same things. This is what they say. This tight end, he's too big to be covered by smaller safeties and corners, and he's too quick for bulky linebackers. But what did we just hear Mike say? The linebackers are not as big as what we used to play with. So when you see Dallas and you see these people mocking tight end to Dallas in the first round, that is why I am absolutely like,
hell no.
Absolutely.
Oh, hell no.
Please don't do it. Because basically, Mike, without us even talking about this as a subject, is confirming what we've been already telling y'all, that pick 26 is one of the worst places to even consider tight end. And I'm going to say this. I will change on that once I see the history of tight end improve with first round picks. Does that make sense or not? That should just make sense. Now, if I start seeing the difference in first round performance, you will see a difference in my opinion. But as long as you keep projecting these guys to be all world, and then when they get into the league, they become wump, why would I bet on that to not happen again? So I just wanted to kind of bring that out. Let me see if the OC back.
I'm back.
But did you hear what I was saying on that as a football note? You know what I mean? What's your thoughts?
I did. Yeah, man, I just think that, man, wisdom is vindicated by their children. And so if the results are there based on your projections, they are. If they're not, they're not. And you can't fabricate, make that up, and keep on forcing your ideal if it doesn't work.
That's right.
As it relates to draft picks and as it relates to doing certain things.
Yep.
So it's a very, very, very objective type deal, man. Either it was effective in the field of play or it wasn't.
It wasn't, and it's not. And history is saying that the league is caught up. Let me just listen to that one more time, just so y'all can see we're not playing. Listen to this.
But you're not just turning that ball back over to them. All those good things. You have to know as much about your defensive game plan as what you're going to do on offense, and then when you get into the game, the flow of it. If they're hitting some balls, and you're going to have to kind of change what you do as well. So I just think that the guys that adjust the best as play callers during the game that can change gears, those are the really great ones.
Coach, how would you approach the running game in today's NFL?
Well, I think they've done a really good job of spreading things out. The one thing that I do know is I watch the draft and everything over the last 10 years. Those linebackers have gotten smaller, looking at more athletic guys. We used to put a big 280, 290-pound tight end back there at fullback and do some lead stuff, and I promise you I would do that. Just go and
Woo! Can we talk some more football real quick?
Yeah, and notice the subtleties. And I don't want to put words in his mouth, so this is why I'm being careful about what I'm saying. But notice you say the real great ones are the guys that can adjust during the game. Those are the real great ones. Those are the great ones that can make the decisions. And he said, I noticed in the league, notice how the wisdom of the older gentleman, how he places these punches. He says, I noticed that the linebackers are smaller. One thing I do is just give me a 280-pound tight end and just run
Go
some
right
lead
at
at
them
him.
little dudes.
Just try to bust them up is what he's saying. Be physical is what he's saying. Have a physical run game and bust people up and take advantage of matchups. That's all he's saying here. That's it.
OC, let's talk some more football like this, dog.
Yeah.
See, this is what get on my nerves, and I'm just being honest. The league is a passing league. The league is a passing league. The league is a passing league. Listen, the league is a passing league, but the smart people are attacking the adjustments that y'all made thinking it's a passing league.
Yeah.
Because
that's why you have people. Go ahead.
Because you had defenses shrink down the linebackers to try to take up of those tight end matchups. Okay, so guess what? Offense is like, okay, we go back to ground and pound.
Mm-hmm.
So for everybody like, I want to be a passing team. No. The dude that was over one of the best offensive throwing teams in history. What they used to call his offense, OC?
Oh, you talking about for the Rams? The greatest show on turf.
The greatest show on turf was this guy. And he's saying, I wouldn't be doing that today. What? Am I hearing that wrong?
Yeah, you heard him right. But you know what they did, though? See, quiet as it's kept. With the greatest show on turf, you know who rushed for 1,300 yards every single year? Marshall Faulk.
Oh.
They ran the football, dude. So don't ever get that premise misunderstood, because the game of football, in its essence,
it's physical.
Is based upon being able to run the football.
Yeah, in its
essence.
Yeah. Look at what Amp said. Ooh, y'all clap it up for Amp. Look at this. The league is not an arrow, it's a circle. Yep.
That's true.
Don't let that go over your head, what he's saying. It is. It was passing. Look at the teams. How did Kansas City win this year?
Run.
They ran the ball. How did Philly get there this year?
Run.
It's a passing league, OC. It's a passing league. We need to catch up to the league. No. You need to go at the weaknesses of the majority of defenses that have tried to adjust to a passing league. Basically, the ribs are open. Go at it. Yeah. All these and see, this is why I said yesterday. Didn't I say this on the draft show yesterday? I said, all you people that want to go with these old itty-bitty defensive ends, I'm going to let y'all do it. I'll see if it work next year. I ain't going to be the first on that trend. You know what I mean? I let other teams try that trend out. Because Michael Parsons already told y'all that when you send them little bodies into the trenches, it is...
You saw what happened with all of his physical ability, with all of his strength in his 240-pound body. And really, I think 240, 245 is his heaviest. I think in the offseason, he probably get down to like 225. Because I'm looking at him work out, and he looks thin.
Yeah.
Right? So that's his football, I'm ready to play a season body, adding in the calories, doing some lifts, making sure his weight is up. But naturally walking around, he's probably 230, 225, bro. Yeah. Honestly. So you lining that up against a 340, 330-pound dude, it's just physics. It doesn't matter. You may get one good play. You may even have one good bull rush if you got me off balance. But you know what? As the game goes on, as the season goes on, and I keep hitting you and 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 hitting you, guess what's gonna happen?
Crack.
Your body's going to break down. You're gonna break down, and guess what? I'm taking some of that gas out your tank too, and all of a sudden that 4.3 and a 4.3 it turns into a 4.6, and I'm much more comfortable blocking that 4.6, baby. You ain't turning that curve on, you ain't turning the hoop on me, you ain't turning the corner on me, you ain't bending and getting skinny because you got pounded out having to play against me first and second down before we got into a passing down. That's what happens.
Man, and see, listen, I didn't know we was gonna get all this out this interview. I thought he was gonna just be shooting shots all day and I was gonna be laughing. No, this is some good. Boy, he talking some good football, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Well,
football.
those guys, come downhill as much as you can with it because they're just not prepared for it. Guys, the defenses, there's too many system type things and not enough details. I would really play smash mouth downhill with big guys and make them play it.
Do you love analytics?
No. Analytics they tell you what happened, but they don't tell you why.
Oh.
Go for it here and go for it there. It's a feel of the game. It says go for it on the 1 yard line. Well, maybe not. It just depends. Here's the thing: if you go for two and you don't have a good 2-point play, why would you do it, right? So, I just it's like you said before. There's so much of it as a situation and a feel for the game. The analytics doesn't always capture, and I think the ball clip's probably pretty good, but I never looked at it. I always looked at the team that we're preparing for, and I could tell you after watching them all week before we played them, for the most part, exactly what the analytics were going to tell you, based on what you've seen. So
Right.
It doesn't tell you what's going to happen. It just tells you what's been in the past. So I guess from that standpoint, I never was really too excited about it.
Mike Martz here on.
This is why Mike McCarthy go be good, y'all.
Yeah.
It's something about having
Common sense football.
Common sense football. This is why Mike McCarthy go do his thing next year. It's something about having wisdom. Guys who been in some real wars. OC, is Andy Reid better based on those losses he took with Philly?
2,000%.
Those wars helped him.
2,000.
Guess what? The wars go help Kellen Moore over time. You know what I'm saying? Over time, Kellen Moore will. Okay, I got a good example. What's the coach of San Fran? Shanahan. Is Shanahan OC the same as what he was in Atlanta?
No, man. No, he ain't pass happy, and he's determined to run that football. He's determined to run that football in a variety of ways.
What was he in Atlanta?
Spread it out and let's throw it down the field. Let's throw it.
Shanahan had a maturation. The losses and those wars calmed him down to a wise OC. You know what I mean? Like keeping it real. Shanahan was young. He was young and I'm finna show you how smart I am. I got Julio Jones and I got Matt Ryan. We finna lost you a Super Bowl, didn't it? You was up 28-3 and your dumb butt kept ironing it out. You was doing 7-step drops, which allowed New England to get after your quarterback, long developing routes in the Super Bowl where you was up 28-3. You idiot!
Yeah.
I didn't mean to call him an idiot because he's obviously smart. But you so unwise for that.
Oh, hell no.
But he's smarter now. You know what I mean? Now he missed the running damn ball. It ain't no running damn ball hats in San Fran, is it? It ain't nobody like West Coast around here talking about, we need to run the ball. They not doing that. San Fran is, they finna run the ball. Right? So anyway.
100%.
Here we go.
The fan, I think this is a perfect question for you. One of the reasons we thought McCarthy was not calling the plays was to manage the game. There's so much about game management today, right? With timeouts and looking at the clock and everything. How much did you lose as a game manager when you were focused on the plays as a head coach versus just an OC? How do you view that with so much breakdown? We're all Madden experts now, right? Playing the video game. We can manage the clock and the timeouts. How much is lost when you're calling the plays too?
Good question.
Well, you're so intimately involved. It's tied together. And I was always a believer to take the timeouts. You know, people used to. I took more timeouts than anybody in the history of the league. And I used to get abused for that. But we were also the best 2-minute team in the league. You know? So I just think that there's times in the game. It could be in the second quarter where there's confusion or whatever. You have to burn a timeout. Defensively, I told the defensive guys, if there's something going on over there, instead of giving up a big play, call the timeout and get them together and get it squared away. You know, I remember we had Grant Weston picked up a fumble and ran 80 yards for a touchdown. They called it back. I burned a timeout because the whole defense ran down there. They were exhausted.
Smart.
You know, so they come back and you take a timeout, let them gather themselves. Well, people go, why did you call a timeout? Because they were exhausted. The next play, they might put it in the end zone, right? So, I mean, you just have to have a feel for the game through the whole process. And you can't be a robot. And that's what scares me about the analytics. It's not a game of robots.
Coach, you know, you've talked here and in that same video for the 33rd team, which is great. People should check it out, the33rd team.com. You talked in there about how you're excited for Mike McCarthy to get back involved in the intimate details of the offense and that you think it'll be beneficial for Dak. For those listening who haven't seen Mike McCarthy call the offense, didn't follow him in Green Bay, and this is going to be their first chance, what should fans expect from a Mike McCarthy offense?
Mike's on it. Mike, he'll be prepared. He's got answers to things. He's really a terrific play caller. He's a great fit for the game. Just what we're talking about. He can watch out there and adjust. You know, he knows when you got to start grinding it out a little bit and then change and take it over the top. Those kinds of things. I just think that he's one of the guys that's got such a great feel.
Oh, man, I can't handle it. I can't.
Yeah, man.
Oh, let me play some more, bro. I got. Ooh, he telling the truth.
Yeah.
If you,
notice the wisdom. I want to point out the wisdom, and I just really respect the tact in which he is dissecting the issues with the Cowboys. And that's what he's doing. He's not directly saying he's doing that, but that's exactly what this man is doing. He said, he has a good feel for the game, and he's going to know when you need to grind it out versus when you need to go over the top and air it out. Hint, 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 hint. Like, man, you just got to listen carefully. And I hope that everybody watching this, that you listen extremely carefully to what this man is saying, because he's really addressing the Cowboys. He's speaking to a Cowboys radio channel. He's addressing all things Cowboys without saying overtly, yeah, this is the problem. Yeah, this is what y'all are dealing with. Yeah, this is the issue. Just
so
listen. It's so
professional.
So
like
refreshing
McCarthy.
And commendable. Yeah. In terms of how he's addressing all of these issues.
Yeah.
So I think that's so impressive.
And Mike McCarthy's like that, OC. Like, where when Mike McCarthy checks you, you don't even know you got checked. You know what I mean? I'm just liking these old school coaches, OC. You know what I mean? When you look at them up close, I really, 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 really like these dudes, man. And it's making sense from just like when you hear them breaking down the field and the logic of the field versus analytics, man, this is dope. And see, like what he said about Mike McCarthy, he said he gonna know when to grind it out and then to take him over the top. He gonna know when to. He basically said he know how to set you up. You know what I mean? Like, you fight OC.
Right.
The OC, y'all don't notice, but he's a fighter as well. He does a lot of training and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But that's what they talking about, like setting up your punches. It was no setup with Kevin Moore. Right, set it up. Set it up. Power.
No, he trying to hit you with the knockout
power.
shot. He come out, he coming out spread. This is what Kellen Moore did. He coming out spread. Look, bow.
Yeah.
Bow, I'm gonna kill you. Well, people gonna see this punch. It's telegraphed, man. They see it coming, bro.
Yeah.
They see it coming. Yeah. You gotta put another one in his face. Keep this one in his face.
Yeah.
Keep this one in his face. Woo! You didn't see it.
Yeah.
You didn't see it. Then he got knocked out. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. And so this is what I'm excited to see. You know what I mean? I'm super excited to see this. Let me keep going on this. This is great. Thank y'all. Also appreciate all y'all on Twitter that really sent this to me, man. I appreciate this because a lot of y'all sent this to me like, boss, you got to react to this. I got to hear what you got to say about this. I ain't never seen y'all do it like this. People was all in my DMs. Like, they was aggressive. Like, boss, boss, no, stop, listen. I was like, what? What'd he say? Boss, stop, everything, listen. I was like, okay. You know what I'm saying? And, ooh, this is good. Man, and that show we a family. That show that we working together. You know what I mean? That when we keeping our ear to the ground, people knew that this channel was gonna come up and amplify this. So man, we appreciate y'all knowing that your voice matter by pushing this type of content to me and the OC. We really appreciate it.
For what's going on the field,
Absolutely.
And there's just so few of those guys around.
Ooh.
Coach, would you prefer a classic drop back passer or a Lamar Jackson type? And we asked about Lamar because
drop back.
Nobody seems to be making any moves for him, and we can't. At least I can't figure out why. Like, what's your take on Lamar?
I think the biggest thing with Lamar, to me, that would scare me was his ability to stay in the field, and that's the problem with guys that run a lot. Guys that can complete the ball, they're real accurate, and get the ball up fast, and they're quick twitch mentally guys. Those, Joe Burrow, those kind of guys. But if you don't have no good offensive line, you're going to get hurt there too. So it doesn't make any difference, I guess, from that standpoint. But I think Lamar's a terrific player, and I think he's in the place where he needs to be in Baltimore because they've kind of built everything around him, and for him to leave Baltimore to me would be tragic.
Would you take Jalen Hurts or Dak for the next 3 years?
Whoa! I didn't know he asked that.
Why?
Let me
rewind this. Wait, because I didn't hear what he said.
And
Whoa!
I got 10 minutes too, boss.
Okay, let me go. Ooh, I didn't know he asked that.
At least I can't figure out why. Like, what's your take on Lamar?
I think the biggest thing with Lamar, to me, that would scare me was his ability to stay in the field, and that's the problem with guys that run a lot. Guys that can complete the ball, they're real accurate, get the ball up fast, and they're quick twitch mentally guys. Those, Joe Burrow, those kind of guys. But if you don't have no good offensive line, you're going to get hurt there too. So it doesn't make any difference, I guess, from that standpoint. But I think Lamar's a terrific player, and I think he's in the place where he needs to be in Baltimore because they've kind of built everything around him, and for him to leave Baltimore to me would be tragic.
Would you take Jalen Hurts or Dak for the next 3 years?
Dak.
Why? We know you like him, but why?
So Jalen Hurts is in a highly disciplined system. All the details, you put Dak in that same system, he's going to have that kind of success. Or better. I just think he's a terrific talent. I was down there for a week and I watched him and met him. I didn't say anything, it was just like a fly on the wall, was in the meetings and just watched him, and he is really, really good. He just, I'm excited for Mike. He's going to clean things up around him. And the discipline of what they do is everything. The details and hammering it and making guys accountable and running routes fast and being where you're supposed to be. All that stuff Mike will do.
You've got the number one pick in the draft. Who are you taking this year at quarterback?
Oh, shoot. Well, I guess. Oh, that's a tough question for me.
Have you watched them?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'd take a quarterback with the first pick. There's a couple down the road that will probably end up being as good.
Damn.
Mike Martz on the Diamond Factory Hotline.
Wow.
Enjoy hole 15.
Wait. Okay. So that was the end. So this is perfect, OC. That was perfect.
Yeah.
So Mike Martz, he say, Dak, I'll take Dak. Bro, like, we've been saying that, bro. Like, this is, you first on this.
Well, he mentioned that he observed Dak over a week and a half, and that Dak is really, really good. He also pointed out, again, respectfully, some other things, right? He said, he said that Mike McCarthy is going to clean things up around Dak Prescott. That's
T
what he
noticed
said.
that too. Yeah, that's what I'm showing
He's
right
going
here.
to clean things up.
That's what the
And
comment,
he said
the comment right under you said that shots. He called it shots. He said shots. Yep. Mike is going to clean things up. Yep.
He said accountability. So when you say things like accountability, you're saying that it hadn't been accountability. I'm going to make sure that guys run routes fast, come back to the ball, are where they're supposed to be, right? And the details. He mentioned that several times throughout the interview, the details around the play calling, the details. And he mentioned a lot of people like to go into systems. He mentioned that.
He did.
So I think that the Cowboys are in a good place. And I think that we're going to see just a lot of common sense and responsible football. It may not be 40 burgers on everybody. I don't care about that. But it's going to be built to win long-term type philosophy in terms of play calling, practice, and execution. And that's what I like, man. So I think the Cowboys are in a good spot. And I also noticed he don't like none of these young quarterbacks that everybody want to take early. He don't like none of them. He said, I wouldn't go quarterback. That's funny. Yeah. He said he wouldn't even go quarterback.
He said he felt
that's
like
his
one
opinion.
of them dudes at the bottom going to be just as good. And that's what I feel like will happen at running back. I think it's going to be a lot of guys that's fourth rounders that's going to put up just as much or more production than Bijan. I'm certain that's going to happen. I bet that's going to happen.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So check this out. Just going back to the Dak Prescott versus Jalen Hurts, this is what I want to say about that. I'm not afraid of the crowd, man. I lost that fear a long time ago. I don't let the crowd persuade me because it's unpopular. I stopped thinking like that a long time ago. I would want the Cowboy Nation to join me on that, though, because I say it boldly all the time, and I mean what I say. It's not a troll or anything. You never should, at this point, take a Hurts over a Dak. It don't make no sense. So, if you thinking kind of, I would say, lazy, you'll say Hurts led him to a Super Bowl. It's like, well, really did he? Because his game against the Giants was womp. Matter of fact, it was fart. It was trash. Now, he had a good Super Bowl, but leading them to the Super Bowl wasn't with a whole bunch of quarterback performances. If you say that, you lying. He farted all the way up until that Super Bowl. Farted. That's why they was saying he looked rusty after that shoulder. Farted. Boo-boo wet. Okay? So let's keep it real. So, yeah, now just keeping it real. Another reason you should not, if you really thinking this through, even think that you would take Hurts over Dak, because Hurts right now long term is something that's risky, right? He has just as many rushing attempts as Pollard. I know people, because I was talking to some Philly people, they was like, when what's my boy Cunningham got injured, they tried to make him a pocket passer. He's not gonna get hurt. You just gotta let him play ball. No, bruh. Those hits add up. Stop being stupid. And listen to what Mike said. He said, if you the type that can get the ball out, when he was talking about the quarterbacks, he was like, if you can get the ball out, I would rather you be that guy that can get the ball out versus those guys that's taking hits. See, we saw a young Dak. You back, OC?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
Okay. We saw a young Dak who used to dive and do all that kind of stuff. See, this is why you want Dak. You want Dak because when those legs went away, he still had his arm. See, Remember, it was only the mass media saying that Dak had a trash year the year before last year. Only, right? But see, coming off a bad ankle, he tied Aaron Rodgers, who was the MVP of the league, with 37 touchdowns, but yet he did it in one less game. Because he was able to adapt his game from being a mobile quarterback to just a throwing quarterback and still do major damage. So long term, Dak is showing you that he can morph and has morphed into more of a pocket passer. And he also showed you in the playoffs last year that he could also transform right back into a running threat. That's what you got with Dak versus Hurts. And I'm almost finished, OC. It's Hurts. This is what you saw with Hurts. You saw a team that was fully built for him. He has the best offensive line in the league. He got 2 fresh top receivers just for him. A.J. Brown was kissed at his doorstep. His receiver, the other one, was a Heisman winner. He had 3 good running backs. And he also was like a running back. It was threat on threat on threat on threat on threat, all sitting around Hurts. They had a smart coach who controlled the game, which kept his defense rested, which allowed them to get a lot of leads in the first half and then just bully teams into the second half, to where he really never had to last year, except for a few games, throw the ball a lot. So we still don't know if he can just sit in that pocket and sling it around if he got to. He had a good sling session during the Super Bowl, but can he maintain that? We don't know. So if you betting on Hurts over Dak, you betting on don't know versus no. And I'm telling y'all right now, when you put all the assets you putting around Dak, you getting ready to get even a better return than what you got with Jalen Hurts. And this is the final thing I'm going to say. For all the sucking up to Jalen Hurts, I want everybody to keep this in mind, that what people was calling the MVP season from Hurts last year, his numbers frankly only equaled Dak Prescott's rookie year passing numbers. If you don't go sit down with your hypocritical, double-minded lying self, because when Dak did it, y'all said it was average, but then when he do it, you call it MVP. Sit down.
I'm gonna let you land the plane. Well, I'll be back tonight. Salute.
Salute. I'm gonna let this play. Appreciate y'all. See. So man, I appreciate y'all sending this to me. And keep in mind, we do, just real quick, I do want to remind y'all real quick that I don't know how many people watching. I never look at that. I promise y'all, I never look at who's watching. The only time I see how many people watching is when I have to look at the show via my phone. Sometimes I have to do that when, something might be happening with my chat feature. So I don't know how many people watching, but I will say this. You help us out greatly when you just hit the likes. You know what I mean? You help us out greatly. You spread this information. You do. A lot of y'all do support us with Cash Apps. I greatly appreciate that. We greatly appreciate everybody that, gave any kind of donation, whether it was the Cash App with $ Boss Cowboy Sports, or if it was the Super Chats or the stars on Facebook. We really appreciate all my Facebook faithfuls like Frank and Rodney. Y'all been holding down Facebook for a while. Y'all are faithful over there. Y'all show up to every one of these shows. I greatly thank y'all, the Facebook family and the YouTube family. But Frank, we really appreciate you. Rodney, we greatly appreciate you for being, the Facebook family. We getting ready to add to the family and grow the family. But let's hit that like, y'all. Let's do that major thing that can take us up to the next level. Thank you, Michael Lockhart. Michael Lockhart just pointed out that we got 217 people watching and 203 people that hit that like. Thank you. Thank you. the rest of the 14, please hit that like as well. Hopefully you're not mad at me if I said something in the past that might have pissed you off. I might have meant it, but I want you to try to forgive me. I mean that too, forgive me. Let's just move on from any kind of hurts I might have done in the past, and let me try to do better, and then you too. But thank y'all for sending me this, because I think this was a good reaction. Now, we are coming back tonight. See, because when we say no days off, we mean that. We are getting closer to the draft, so we are ramping up in preparation for the draft. What's up, Charvers? I see you on Facebook, man. Appreciate you holding it down. Queen with the 5, thank you so much. Thank you so much. But y'all make sure y'all keep those notifications on, because we are really trying to be as thorough as possible to prepare y'all for what's coming in this draft. So we've covered plenty of potential picks that we feel like is going to be best for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm gonna be honest with y'all and tell y'all this, kind of teasing y'all for tonight. This draft, and I see this draft at tackle similar to how I saw the draft with CeeDee Lamb, right? It's on record that my top receiver, and it wasn't popular at the time, was Jefferson, right? I wanted Jefferson, right? But I also knew this. Even though I wanted Jefferson, I knew we was going to still be real good with CeeDee Lamb. I want y'all to understand that that's how this tackle class is. If you don't get the ideal guy that you love, it's still some CeeDee Lambs. Even if Jefferson go to Minnesota and light it up, how many of us are just mad at CeeDee Lamb? I'm not. I like CeeDee Lamb. I like the pick. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying we're preparing y'all for that type of action at tackle, as well as guard, as well as other positions. And I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. If y'all not coming to this, you know what I'm saying? If y'all not coming to go watch, and I'm just gonna be real, if you're not watching the OC break down these guys, you missing the show. You really are. The OC is, I called him, I'm just being honest. I called the OC this morning. I said, bro, you Steph Curry when it come down to these offensive line and just the trenches. I said, bro, you are Steph Curry. You know what I mean? I just, if I can be Thompson, you know what I'm saying? You know, while you Steph, that's what we witnessing on this. So, you know, so y'all make sure y'all continue to come to these, because these are quality breakdowns. This is one more thing I'm gonna tell y'all about these breakdowns as we prepare y'all for tonight. A lot of us content creators, me myself, have done this. When we do our film breakdowns, especially the ones that's under 5 minutes, under 10 minutes, we really not doing breakdowns with those. What we more so doing is giving you a taste of what this player could be. But that's never truly a breakdown. When you breaking down a player, you got to look at everything. You got to basically let the film run. And then you grade the good, which we call pluses, and then you got to subtract the bad, which we call minuses. That's a universal term that's used by coaches when they're grading players, right? So the way that you see us do it, we're not going to give you some highlights to whet your appetites. We go turn on the film and let it run. And then we go grade it as it's running. But then we go break down the attributes of what you can see for the Dallas Cowboys. All right. So y'all just kind of gear up for that. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about this series. We have been keeping up with this series. It's a fantastic series. It's exciting. Well, I put it like this. Some people hate offensive line. I love it. I love it. I love bullying. I love pancakes. I love feet. I love dancing bears. I love it. Like, cause listen, y'all, for those who don't really love this offensive line, I tell you what, you sure love them big yards Zeke was getting in 2016, and I guarantee you love when McFadden got 1,000 yards in 10 games running behind Lyle Collins. I guarantee you love that. See, the problem with most people, me included, when I first start watching film, it's a hard discipline to focus and lock in on that offensive line. It is. It's a hard discipline to just lock in because we have been trained through years of watching football to watch the ball, right? So we watch the ball. So if the quarterback hiked the ball, our eyes go to that quarterback. If it's a running play, our eyes lock in to that running back running with the ball because our eyes follow the ball. You know what I mean? You have to literally discipline yourself to ignore the ball and look at the war that's happening in front of the ball. That's how you develop very good eyes for watching trench warfare. You know what I mean? And I have learned that over time to be able to ignore the ball movement and stay locked in on the war that's happening in front of the ball. So we trying to welcome more people to that side of watching the film. All right. So y'all definitely come back for that. And I really appreciate y'all for real, for really pushing us. Like I got so many people on Twitter, like, and in my DM personally, I've never had so many people hit me up like, boss, react to this. Lastly, before we get out of here, let me know what y'all thought of a blind reaction to where I didn't know what was said. I just turned it on and we just start kind of talking based on what we hearing. Do y'all like it that way, or do y'all like the investigative Boss Cowboy that actually listen to it and then comes back and break it down? Did y'all like it this way, or do y'all like it the other way that I usually do it? Because I usually listen to it first. Then after I heard some stuff that's like, ooh, I then go live about it and present like after I do my investigative stuff. So y'all let me know, did y'all like the freestyle? Okay, my boy Common Sense said both. Okay, we got one. I wanna hear from y'all. I wanna hear from more. Okay, my boy Trey said both. Okay. He started laughing. Okay. And then Cameron said, it's fun that way, but I enjoy both. Okay. So both. Okay. So this is what I do because it's pretty much overwhelming both. So I'm gonna switch it up. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I'm gonna just pull clips that y'all send me and I'm gonna just react to it. Then y'all know when I see stuff that's in the field that I want to kind of bring to the public that some people might not be seeing, I'll bring it that way. So Star, I appreciate you and Star, I want to say one thing about Star real quick. Star, you are doing fantastic. I really appreciate the work that you're doing on Twitter and starting your channel. You are a good attack dog for the facts and the truth. And I'm going to just be honest with you. Get prepared, Star. People not going to like you. You know what I'm saying? Because see, this is one thing I know about Star. Me and Star are kind of similar to where we'll say stuff that's not popular, but we can back it up. And I'm just telling you, Star, people a lot of times don't like that style because we don't chase crowds and it make us seem like we're contrary. We're really not contrary. We just don't go with crowds. So I just wanted to encourage you, Star, and just warn you before it happened. As your voice continues to amplify, you will also see haters amplify because you're bold. Don't change. Stay how you are. Don't change. You are in the right place and you are doing it the right way. So just stay how you are, because this is one thing I also like about Star too. Star, she follows this channel, but Star does not bop Boss. She does not say stuff because Boss said it. She say stuff all the time that she don't agree with me. You know what I'm saying? And I like y'all when y'all like that because y'all make me better. You know what I mean? Because I like when I'm challenged because that's what makes me stay sharp. So I just wanted to say that before we get out of here. But man, we gonna be back tonight. If y'all not at the club, if you're not partying, if you're not laid up with your significant other, if you're not having a date night, if you just sitting there drinking a beer, cooking some food, preparing for the weekend, y'all come on back, man. Get some more football as we giving y'all this overtime. But other than that, y'all stay up. It's Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matter, man, and appreciate it. And we'll see y'all tonight. Another one you already know.
Another one.
Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matters.
Run it up, Star.
Run it up.
Haters gonna hate, baby. Trust me. And I'm gonna tell you this: if they not hating, you ain't making no noise.
Bring it real back. He be speaking his mind. That boy with the shit.
All of us, you should want haters. The more haters that you have, the more that you are putting people in fear of your potential.
Bring it real back. He be speaking his mind. That boy with the shit.
Thank God for these haters. Anybody that's hating on you, when you get on your knees tonight,
BossCowboySports.
say thank you, Lord, for these haters.
Finesse. 2 on.